How's it going, everybody? My name is Nick. I'm your coach of the Philadelphia Pincers. We're coming back to you with a brand new league that we are a part of. Let me turn my music down real quick. So we are coming back to you with a brand new league that we are a part of, known as the UPBA Non-Upload League. UPBA is a bigger league with some really good faces, and not just good looking, but good battlers as well, who post to YouTube with quite frequently. And this is the non-upload division, trying to get new faces into the draft scene. And I am one of those new faces that is trying to come onto the more professional scene, I guess is what you might want to call them. They might not call themselves professional. I think of them. I look up to them. I watch their videos like every week. I learn new building styles and battling styles every time I'm watching someone. But I digress. So this is week one. I'll give you a rundown of my team first. This is the team that I drafted with. We could draft anywhere from 10 to 12 Mons using a total of 115 points. And yeah, I think we got a pretty powerful team. Doubled up on some types, but that's not always a bad thing as long as they do different things, right? So we did grab a Latios in the draft, as well as Mamoswine, Rotom Heat, Galarian Weezing, Tornadus Incarnate, Lucario, Registeel, a Selgor, a Alolan Persian, Quagsire, Tangela, and Spiritomb. And this week, my opponent is Coach Tony, or also known as T-Slaps, over on his YouTube. His link will be down below. Go give him a follow. Go watch his videos. Pretty great content creator from the few videos that I have watched, and he's a pretty good battler as well. Yeah. Also, shameless plug right here. If you like what you watch, if you want to maybe recommend some stuff to me, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe down below. The support is greatly appreciated. And yeah, hopefully I can get some more followers out of this, as well as help other people get some followers, because I'm going to be including their links in my descriptions as well. So I ran down the list of my team. Tony's team is the Austin FC Verdeerlings, and it is comprised of an Aegislash, a Rillaboom, Slowbro Cantonian form, Tyranitar, Nidoking, Sylveon, Dracozolt, Sneasel, Scyther, and Xatu. Like I said, or I don't know if I said this, but when I was building for this with my front office, we noticed that the matchup was heavily in my favor. I just had to play it right. So you can, let's see. Now you can see the 6 that I ended up bringing on the screen. I am the one with the Latios, obviously, and he's the one with the Aegislash and the Sandcore. I will get it switched around once the battle goes. The reason this is on Showdown is because we played the first 10 or so turns on Switch online comp mode, and then somehow we got disconnected. Our teams were already locked into the online comp mode. And yeah, so we couldn't play a regular battle with them. We couldn't go into land mode because we just wouldn't be able to use them without regenning them, and neither Tony nor I had the time to do that. So we ended up jumping on Showdown and playing this match out. And yeah, I'm going to play this with the music off, hopefully. Switch sides. Yeah, so let's throw this into slow mode. He does decide to lead off with the Sylveon as we lead off with our Galarian Weezing, and we are just going to throw off a Toxic here as he decides to switch out into his Aegislash to take that Toxic, and then we are going to throw off a Will-O-Wisp, and I'm going to pause this here. As we throw off this Will-O-Wisp coming up, this is where it's going to miss here, but it did connect in the actual battle, which is probably why he ended up doing the move that he did after that. So as we throw off our he goes off for a Toxic as we go for a Will-O-Wisp. We did connect. Obviously he did not, because he threw off a Toxic into a Poison type, and we throw off a Flamethrower as the Slowbro comes in. And then we go for a Toxic onto the Slowbro just to whittle down this bulk and make it easier for Mamoswine in the late game. He goes for a Surf. And yeah, we take a good chunk of damage. We are going to switch out here into our Latios as he opts to switch out into his Sylveon. We don't want to stay in and take a Hyper Voice from this, so we're going to switch right back out into a Rotom Heat to take a Hyper Voice. You see it's barely doing anything. So he's going to Protect to scout what we are going to do as we go for our Volt Switch here. And then he'll probably go for a Heal Bell here, I think, as we Volt Switch out into Mamoswine. He'll click Protect here as we hit Earthquake, because Earthquake was just hitting everything relatively hard outside of the Slowbro at this point. And this is where I'm like, I'm going to switch it up. He doesn't know that if we're locked into anything at this point. So as he switches Sylveon out into the Cantonian Slowbro right here, we go for the knockoff and we get a sick chunk of damage off and knock off its leftovers. From here, I know that I'm Assault Vest and can live any water attack he goes for, so I go for the Earthquake to get more damage off as he opts to go for the Surf. And then he will switch out, get that regen, and go out the Sylveon. This is where I start noticing Earthquake is really just going to take over his team. So I'm just going to, yeah, this is where we ended up getting to in the game. He protected, I Earthquaked, and I'm just going to sit here and Earthquake again. I have no reason not to. We take out the Sylveon right there as he opts to go into Sneasel. Now I'm fearing a low kick probably right here. And I don't want to lose my Mamoswine. I know how good it is against this team. So I'm going to go into my Neutralizing Gas Wheezing. And obviously that Neutralizing Gas was here to stop the Sand Core. As you will see, he opts to switch out into the Tyranitar here. As we have our, no, he does go for the knockoff, okay. Sorry. I must be remembering a different sequence of events. Yeah, he goes out into Slowbro. We do launch a Toxic back off, as I anticipated him to go out into this. Get some more damage off on the Slowbro. So, and I'm going to switch out here into Latios once again, as he opts to switch out into the Aegislash. Again, I don't want to take damage on this Latios right now because I could be a late game sweeper. It is a Choice Scarf Latios. And I don't want to take any sort of ghost move at this moment. So I'm going to switch out here. No, I go for the Mystical. What am I? I'm remembering this battle horribly. Go for the Mystical Fire, get some damage off onto the Aegislash as he goes for a Toxic. This is where I can switch out, I do believe. And yeah, I switch out into the Galar Weezing. And he goes for a Shadow. No, Tyranitar comes out. That's where it was. Sand does not go up. I want to get a Will-O-Wisp off on this thing as he goes for the Stone Edge and connects. We get the Will-O-Wisp off, but then we realize that Tyranitar is a Lum Berry. So we are going to just sack off the Weezing here to a Flamethrower from that Tyranitar. And he gets the Sand up. And we are going to go out into Lucario here. We are going to, as he goes out into Aegislash, we expected this and hit the Shadow Claw to get a significant chunk of damage off. We are faster than this for certain. So I am going to stay in right here and just go for another Shadow Claw and take out the Aegislash with Lucario. So he'll probably go out into the Dracozolt here. Yeah, we do not want to take that kind of damage, so we're going to switch out into our Dracozolt check, and that is the Quagsire. As he goes for the Flamethrower, getting off a mere 14%. He'll switch out here as we go for the sub on our Quagsire, and that was a great idea, Jamie, for that. Go for the sub, Sneasel comes out, and the Sandstorm is gone. So he goes for the Icicle Crash, which does break our sub, but we did do the calcs during the match, and that was a roll. I think it was close to a max roll. So we switch back out in the Rotom Heat as he goes for a Toxic on Fort. And then we can scare this thing out. We can just Volt Switch now because this Tyranitar, we don't want to be in against it. We knew that he was going to switch out. So we Volt Switch out into the Lucario once again. And now close combat is fairly free here. So we do go for the close combat and we knock the Tyranitar out. Sand is up, and this is what I consider the beginning of the end. Once he lost his Sand Setter, Dracozolt really lost pretty much a good chunk of its viability. And we will switch back. We'll sack off the Lucario here and get a free switch into Quagsire as he kills us with a Flamethrower. Again, we will sub here as he switches out because he can't touch us really. We sub, and this is where we should see that the Icicle Crash is in fact a roll to break our sub. And we just go for the Earth Power to get some damage off. Yeah, and now he'll break the sub here with a knockoff. We'll go for the sub. We'll put the sub right back up in front of him. And this is where he has to Icicle Crash. And he does get the higher roll again. We do get Earth Power and get some more damage off. As he goes for the Icicle Crash, anticipating our sub. Misses. We do recover here because we need this health back for the Dracozolt. And he goes for a Toxic here and misses that as well. That's sad, but I don't necessarily think it affected the end game so much. It just kept our Quagsire healthy so that we could deal with the Dracozolt. We go back into Rotom, anticipating that Toxic again. And we will just Volt Switch on out of here, getting some big damage off onto this Slowbro. And that will put it into Earthquake range from the Mamoswine after the Toxic damage. And this is where Earthquake just pretty much goes in on the remainder of his team. We will Earthquake the Slowbro. The Dracozolt comes in, and when he brought the Dracozolt in here, I was seriously thinking that he might be a Scarf Sand Dracozolt. Because I didn't think this was the play. If he had Low Kick or something on his Sneasel, I thought that was for sure the play here, but he does opt to bring in Dracozolt. I wasn't too worried about losing Mamoswine here, so I did opt to stay in and just go for the Earthquake and knock out the Dracozolt with one hit. And then the Sneasel comes in. The only switch I have here is going out into my Quagsire, and that is to preserve differential, because I guess I could have gone out into Rotom, but I really didn't want to take the knockoff damage. So I do have Rocky Helmet on this Quagsire. He hasn't seen it yet because he's only been hitting the sub with physical damage, and I was scouting for this Low Kick. So I switch out into the Quagsire as he does in fact go for the Low Kick, takes Rocky Helmet chip, and that is going to be game. He goes for the Toxic here at the end. Doesn't matter, he's at 4%, and I just kill him with a Earth Power. Yeah. So we did end up picking a 4-0 dub up on that one, which was pretty phenomenal for my first match in the league. And yeah, Lottie didn't really have to do much in that game. It did whittle down the the Aegislash. But overall, the MVP was definitely Mamoswine in this matchup, which we knew that going into the match. Just looking at his team, the 6 that he brought made sense. The Sneasel, I think, made the least amount of sense. I really thought Rillaboom would come. But talking to him after the match, he said that I had pretty much every check to Rillaboom in the game, or every good check to Rillaboom in the game, and I was like, yeah, you're right, because I did have the Weezing, the defensive Galarian Weezing with neutralizing gas. I had a defensive Rotom Heat. Even Latios doesn't really take too much from it. I had a Registeel open to me. I could have had a Violate defensive Tangela, and yeah, I definitely agreed with him on that fact. But yeah, we did pick up the 4-0 dub in that one. And yeah, so hopefully you guys come back for future matches throughout the league. And yeah, go, like I said earlier, go give Tony a subscribe down below. Go watch his videos, give him some love, tell him I sent you. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week for the week 2 match against the Sanguine Scizors and Coach Jelly. See you then, guys.